Hey there.
Let's go.
Hi there. Regrets. I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. How's that?
Wow, that was pretty good.
Hey guys, it's Chris and Katrina with our Everyday Getaway, and welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah, Katrina and I have been full-time living for 2 years now.
Just over 2 years.
Right, and in this video, we want to tell you about our regrets and mistakes. They kind of bleed over one or the other.
Are these my mistakes or your mistakes?
They're all her mistakes and all her regrets. I'm good to go.
Oh boy, this may take a while.
Yes. We did a video a few weeks ago about you may not be ready for full-time RV living if you're not willing to consider these things. I'll put a link above. You guys can check out that video. We want to share these with you. And maybe you guys can learn something from this. So if you're considering going on the road full-time, or maybe you just started, these may help you. Maybe these will help you. Hopefully they'll help you. You can learn from Katrina's regrets and mistakes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. All right. So we're going to start out with number one. And I'm going to save my biggest regret for last.
It's his biggest.
It is. It is. That's the only one that's mine. Everything else is hers.
That's not true.
Yes.
So not true.
All right. We're going to start out with number one. And would you like to discuss?
No, you go ahead.
Right.
Well, you say what it is, and I'll go from there.
Sounds good. Okay. That would be the RV. Without a doubt. I don't want to say it's a mistake. It is a regret. I don't know that it's a mistake.
It's not a mistake. It's not.
No, it's not.
So
but it is a regret, right?
Yeah. We started off when we were part-timing with the Class A gasser, which was what, a Thor?
Hurricane, yes.
Hurricane,
yeah.
Okay. And we loved it. Actually, it worked out really well for us. But then we decided we were going to go full-time. And we said, you know what? We need to upgrade. We need something a little bit bigger. And we had a specific floor plan and model in mind.
Yeah, we definitely wanted that one, without a doubt.
Yeah, that was the Fleetwood Discovery 38W, and the Discovery was a 48M. But at the time we were looking, there were not a lot of used RVs on the market. We could not find one. No. So we were kind of like in a hurry. We needed to get on the road. We had a plan, and we found this guy we have now in Florida. We had it inspected. We went down and we got it. It checked off a lot of the boxes, not everything. And we've been happy with it, but it's not the exact perfect one for us. Right.
And we got caught up into the mindset, well, we got to have a bigger rig to live on the road full time. And we were rushed. Our schedule was rushed. We're going to head out to Colorado and then come back. So we just got caught up into that mindset. Now, in hindsight, we realized we could have easily lived full time in that gasser.
Yeah, even though it would have been a little bit, more crowded and only the one bathroom. But now that we do what we do and we know how we're doing things, a lot of times Chris doesn't even use the bathroom in this room.
Well, we realized we could have RV'd. We could have lived full time in that RV. Yes. It wouldn't have been a problem. It wouldn't have been an issue. And taken our time trying to find that rig that we wanted.
That is true.
And that's the key thing about it. So if you're looking to go full time, take your time, and if you already have a rig, just keep with that rig until you get the deal you want or till you find that rig that you want. Don't rush into it. And in hindsight, once again, we love this rig.
We do.
We do, and it's been great to us. But that would be one of the bigger regrets and mistakes, is not waiting for that rig that we wanted when we could have stayed in the other one.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, another regret and mistake, and we've received quite a bit of criticism from comments over the year or two. And that's not staying on budget.
We are never on budget.
No, we're not. We should have done a better job staying on budget, especially that first year.
True, but okay, I'll give you an example. We bought a 1,000 Trails membership. Had we put a little bit more effort into researching it, we would have done better with it. We bought a membership thinking that we could just go out the next month and get all these reservations and stuff, not knowing that these places, especially in Florida, are booked up in the winter, and you have to do that a long time in advance.
But that'll come into a planning, which is another issue. But as far as the budget goes, not doing a better job of controlling our impulses and
Oh,
wants. No.
That's this one over here.
Listen. You know,
Let's be
because
truthful.
once again, you get on the road, you get excited, you want to get out there and have a great time, and it's understandable to all of those things. We should have done a better, you know, as I say, we should have
He's got a mouse
done
in his pocket
a better job of staying within budget, doing a better job. We've gotten better. We've gotten better,
Chris has gotten better.
I think.
Katrina was already on board.
You know, but you do, once again, it's exciting to be on the road and to travel. And then when you meet friends, you go out for dinner and have a few drinks, and, you know, and you get caught up into it. And I think, now in hindsight, especially with the way things are right now, you can do a better job of staying on budget.
Well,
so it is a regret for me.
And also that first year, you always treat it like you're on vacation. You should not do that. We know now it was not vacation. We were actually, this was our life. We were living on the road. And that does happen to a lot of people. You feel like you get out there, you want to experience everything really quickly, and you treat it like you're on vacation. It's not a vacation.
That would go into the next regret and mistake that Katrina already talked about a little bit, and that is planning. Not doing a better job of preparing for full-time RV living planning.
Yeah, and I'm the bigger guilty one in that one. I do.
Yeah, you know, there are things that we will do at the spur of the moment. We'll make these things up as we go along. But I'm more of a planner, and I like to have it set. Now we're getting ready to go into our third year, and our third year we're better at it. We're better as far as planning. The mistake we made is before we went full time, not getting things lined up first.
Right, like I talked about, like the memberships, you know, getting those lined up, going ahead and making reservations for a year out, and trying to find those boondocking places that we could stay at, and planning our trip. We just didn't do a good job.
An example of that, we won't get deep into the weeds of it, is Thousand Trails. We liked the Thousand Trails membership, but we did not understand and prepare for it before we got on the road. And if you guys want us to do a video, a video detailed for 1,000 Trails, leave a comment down below and let us know. But just kind of give you a little bit of it, is that we should have bought the 1,000 Trails membership before we started, because we couldn't use it right away.
Right. It takes a couple months before you can actually use it. And then even if you can use it, let's say you get it in September, well, if you can't start using it for a month or two later after all the paperwork goes through, those places, depending on how far you can book out, are already booked. Like, and I'm particularly talking about Florida. Florida, you have to be right on top of things.
Which gets into planning. Once again, we didn't know these things. We had very little knowledge about this. And had we known that 6 months or a year before, we would have started making reservations at state parks. So these are things
we didn't, right?
No. Yeah, so these are things you need to know where you're going to prepare to go on the road. Sure, you could wing it, but if you're looking to go places in state parks, you got to start planning those things out 6 to 12 months ahead of time before you start going on the road.
And what it happened to us is, because we did it that way, we ended up having to book reservations at more expensive RV resorts. And I want to preface that by saying, you know, that's a big when you say RV resorts, because they're really not all RV resorts, but they charge you, especially in the high season, they are expensive.
So you can see how the budget and the planning, they kind of work hand in hand.
Yep.
So not being more prepared before we started going on the road and making reservations.
Yes.
Came back as a regret and a mistake, because it could have saved us a lot of money. And once again, that's on us. All these things were on us. So we're not blaming anyone but us. All right, so another one would be, and we thought we could make this work.
What's that?
Near the end of our first year, going into the second year, we thought we could spend time away from family during the holidays.
Yeah, that's a big no-go. We were in Texas last October, November, and that's where we had Thanksgiving at a Cracker Barrel. Nothing wrong with Cracker Barrel.
Love Cracker Barrel.
Just not for Thanksgiving for us.
Not for us.
Okay, we're used to hosting Thanksgiving, and we have, you know, the 4 kids, and we have grandchildren now, and we have extended family, Chris's family, my parents, and we didn't have any of that, so it was sad.
Yeah, we thought it would be a piece of cake. No big deal. How bad could it be? And that actually, while we were sitting there at the table, we looked at each other and said, this is never going to happen again.
It was sad.
We will, no matter where we are on the road in our travels, we'll either go home or we'll have them meet us, or we'll meet somewhere in between.
Yes, we will.
We're not going to let that happen, especially Thanksgiving. So we've learned that. That was a huge, huge regret, to miss out, especially now that we have the grandkids.
Grandbabies.
It's a great time to spend and bond with your family.
And Christmas is going to be the same way for us. We need to be around family for those 2 holidays. The other ones we can get away with, but these guys...
Now, I'm sure some of you handle it on the road and you're away from your family and you're okay with it. That's cool. But for us, it was a huge mistake and a big regret.
Yep.
Big regret. All right, so another one, and this one is difficult for me to admit. I will this, and that is not teaching Katrina how to drive.
And maybe,
or someone else teaching.
I was going to say, maybe someone else should teach me how to drive, because Chris would just be a hot mess. He would frustrate me. It'd be a big argument. I would never want to drive
So
if he tried to teach me.
Listen to me. I had that Captain Kirk moment. If you know what I'm talking about, I had that Captain Kirk moment. Or actually, Admiral Kirk. I had that Admiral Kirk moment.
For everything, there is a first time, Lieutenant. Don't you agree, Admiral? Would you like the tranquilizer?
I had 1/4 impulse power.
It's just, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. For those of you who are Star Trek fans, I had that moment. And it's still difficult for me. It came back to almost bite us in the butt while we were in Colorado. And once again, if you didn't get a chance to see that video, I'll put a link above. But we were in Colorado, Gunnison, I think it was.
Gunnison, and you got terribly sick and had to be airlifted to Colorado Springs.
It was a gallbladder issue.
Right.
And it just so happened that coincided with the end of our stay at that resort.
And what it was is the end of the stay was Labor Day weekend. The resort that we were at, and we had been there a month, so we were doing really well. But it was Labor Day weekend, of course. It always happens on the weekends, right? And a holiday weekend. And they didn't have any more reservations. They were very diligent. They were trying to find us a new spot. Then, to top it all off, he's airlifted, and I'm stuck there. I can't
6 hours away.
I can't even move the RV because I can't do all that. I don't know how to do all that. So luckily for us, they were able to move others around. Thank goodness the others agreed. And I could stay there for a few more days until I could go pick up Chris and we could get back and he was cleared to drive. But tell them about our friend.
Well, first of all, shout out to Mesa Verde RV Resort in Gunnison, Colorado for working with us. They were fantastic. If you guys ever get a chance, stay there. They were great people. But thankfully, we had friends living close by in Durango who were Kevin and Ed and the whole gang. Thank you guys. They were willing to drive out, and then we were scheduled to go to Ouray.
Yeah, they were going to come out and pick up the rig, drive it to Ouray, and then drive themselves back to their home in Durango, just so that we could get to our next reservation. Also, real quick, the guys in Ouray, also, it was last minute. They didn't charge us, and they let us kind of change our reservations too. And they were booked out. So, thumbs up to them.
I can't remember the name of that resort.
It was awesome,
I'm sorry. So thankfully that worked out. That is a regret not teaching. Now with the small Class C that we have that we're taking to Alaska,
not a problem.
That's not a problem. With the bigger rig, I'm still somewhat hesitant, but it is a mistake. So I think it's important for you guys to remember, everyone should learn how to drive no matter what you're driving. I think this is maybe me more than you.
What is it?
But I think another big regret is not boondocking more.
Yeah, maybe you because of where you want to boondock. I want to boondock these places also. I'll let you talk about that. But I just don't want to stay there for a year at a time. Unlike Chris would be fine.
Well, we're not talking about boondocking somewhere for a year at a time, but I would like to spend more time out west and do more boondocking. Now, maybe not even 50% of the time. Maybe, 25, 35%. Let's up our game a little bit because I do understand the appeal of it. And we're not fully prepared for it, although as long as you have a generator, really, that's all you need. But I do think everyone who RVs should experience, if you haven't yet, you should experience it, include it, because it does bring something to the experience. It really does.
It does, and I'm looking forward to it. But I think you are looking forward to it a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
now we got our year coming up next year, into our third year. We're going to be doing some more boondocking, especially on our trip to Alaska. Yes. So that's definitely in the plans. But the good thing about that is we'll be with a group of people. So maybe that's another way you can deal with it. If you're considering it, try to go with someone to make you feel a little more comfortable. But I do think it is an important part of your RVing. Now, I know some of you got to have your full hookups all the time. I get it. But every now and then, just break out a little bit for a couple weeks and give it a try and see what happens. But
we'll see.
To me, that is a regret not a mistake. It's a regret because we
Yeah,
should
we haven't done it yet.
Well, we've done boondocking.
Well,
we just
not
haven't
long
done a
enough.
lot. We've
Okay.
boondocked at the wall. We've boondocked 4 or 5 days here and there, but
Right.
we just haven't done it for like a week or more. So I would think that
We did an
we
RV
have to do
unplugged
some
for
more.
over a week.
Yes. Well, that doesn't, whatever. That doesn't count. That's what I'm
did.
saying. All right.
did.
Okay. So this one, I've saved this for last. Now look, there's nothing we can do about this. Obviously, it's in hindsight. I regret not RVing sooner. We have 4 kids. When they were younger, we used to talk about doing this and camping or RVing, and we just never did it. Like a lot of things, we would just put it off because we were so busy working and trying to make ends meet that we never took the time out to do it. So it is a huge regret. There's nothing I can do about it now. But for those of you who are either starting out a family or you have a young family and you haven't done it yet, or you're thinking about doing it and you're debating, do it.
Just
Get
do
out
it.
there and do it.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. No one's going to attack you. No one's going to come out. Just go out and make it happen. Create that time and enjoy that time.
Well,
And
those memories are, the kids
Yeah.
are going to remember that. I personally, when I was a kid, my family did go camping quite often. I don't know if your family, you had a larger family. You didn't
we
really
didn't.
do
We
that.
didn't do any
But
camping.
I remember all those, as far as I remember those times. I remember camping. I remember going out with my brother and my parents, and we could take friends sometimes. I don't really remember all the gifts that I got as a child, but I do remember all those experiences.
Oh, I got what you're saying. My fault.
Yes.
I was like, you. That's crazy because you got a lot of gifts.
Oh, you
Oh,
did.
she got in. Okay, we couldn't afford it. There were 7 kids on my side of the family. My mom and dad couldn't afford to do those things. So you were kind of lucky that way.
I was very fortunate. I was.
We were lucky. Don't get me wrong, but we did have a lot of kids. 7 kids. We just
I would have
didn't
loved to
the time
have more
do it.
brothers and sisters.
So yeah, I mean, I regret it now. There's not now. One of the things we can do is now that we have granddaughters, we can do some camping with them. They're a little young right
take
now.
them out with us.
You're right. We've taken them out. We had
Well-
Olivia with us at Hershey.
We did, and what we're doing also is that we can get a lot of times, like our oldest daughter and her husband, they'll come with us as well. We
Yes.
have just enough room. We don't have. It's a little tight, but we make it work. And then the grandbabies get to come because I don't think mom and dad are ready for them to go out on their own with us quite yet.
So once again, do that if you can. If you've been waiting for some reason, don't get out there and do it. Make it happen. You won't regret it.
No.
Unlike me, you will not regret it.
Yeah,
So there you go. There you have it. What do you think?
that's great.
Some of our regrets and mistakes, everyone's experience is going to vary.
Sure.
It's going to be different. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you guys think. What are some of your regrets? Some of your mistakes? Maybe you have none. If you don't, that's great. Share them with us so we can learn, so this community can grow and learn from your experience.
I agree.
So hopefully when we do year number 3 and we won't do a
We won't have any regrets.
or mistakes. We'll, by going into year
So
3,
that means I'll be driving next year.
it'll be pretty good. She's going to be doing a lot of driving next year. She is.
Wow.
There you go, guys. Thanks for joining us. If you guys like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You'll be notified every time we release a video. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Don't forget,
Any day you can get away.
it's a great day. You guys take care. We'll
See
see
you
you.
guys.
Bye.